salt.
Of Americans consider themselves very liberal, and probably fewer of them consider themselves to be woke. And so, when we
What does
talk
that
about
mean to
traditional
you? Would you mind defining woke? Because it's come up a couple times, and I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
So, I mean, woke is sort of the idea that this is going to be one of those moments that goes viral. I mean, woke is something that's very hard to define, and we've spent an entire chapter defining it. It is sort of the understanding that we need to totally reimagine and redo society in order to create hierarchies of oppression. It's hard to explain in a 15-second soundbite.
And I think one of the major points that he brought up was the Ghostbusters 2016 film.
Yeah,
was
like
kind of like yeah, it was kind of like the tipping point for where we were like, oh, companies are just going more for like
Ryan's taking a back seat.
The wokeness and stuff like that. Like that was his opinion on it. Do you agree with that? Like the quality of films have gone down since then, or do you think they are still like doing about the same as they were before?
It's honestly about the same. It's not any big difference. Ghostbusters 2016 was one of these meh movies that I find a lot of people like Critical Drinker and I don't know if Neurotic's done anything on Ghostbusters 2016. I'd be shocked. But a lot of these guys just whinge over it like
Almost
incessantly.
yeah.
And the movie came out like, what, 6 years ago? And yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see
I can
how that's
see
a
why,
reflection
though.
of-
I have an opinion on that. What I think happened with Ghostbusters 2016 is a certain, there was definitely a shift that happened with that movie. And just, right out the gate, I think it sucks. I hate that fucking movie. I couldn't get through it. But
yeah,
I don't think the shift was in the film industry as much as, yes, there's been a shift in the film industry, but I think that what you just described as far as like what Drinker described is really a shift also in YouTube film commentary, which started focusing on this word woke as, something to put into the algorithm, and it goes in the algorithm, it goes into titles, and people click on it because it means whoever's reading it or hearing it wants it to mean.
Well, then we should define the term right now. That way there's no more confusion going on.
Absolutely,
Okay.
We should. Woke is putting diversity of the cast above anything else. Show me where you are weighing this. And it really just goes to show that it's the idea of diversity being something inherently negative and not the default. They think the default is the way things have always been, when really media is adapting to represent reality more. Based on sheer numbers, there should be more female superheroes than males, because there's just more females than males in the population. Things like that. Okay, so let's break down that claim. You got two things they claim to be at odds.
Prepare for battle.
You've got diversity. So the idea that there's different types of perspectives represented by different types of people with different types of experiences. You've got everything else, which is very, very vague and encompasses anything that might exist in a movie.
Yeah.
I'm all worked up now.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
I saw the whole feminism thing, and it was annoying at first, but I'm of the position now that's just everybody needs to do what they're gonna do, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Freedom of choice. And I think wokeness pushed that originally. Like it was feminism, gay marriage,
Gay love, gay kissing, and gay sex.
all these different freedoms, right? That they wanted. And that's great, right? Everyone should be free, right? I'm a libertarian. So, everyone should be free to do what they are going to do, what they believe is right. That's all we can do. But now it's kind of shifted to the point where now it's leaning a little. It's like the pendulum is swinging. It's swung from one way where things were restricted. Now everything's free, and now it's swinging the other way.
Yeah,
where
we're speaking in really general, like these general nebulous terms at this point, man. Like, what does that mean?
That's fair.
Free, it was free, now it's swinging. Like, I need to understand, like, something I can grab onto here.
Okay, if I may.
Simply put, too woke equals prioritizing diversity, including race, gender, sexual preference, identity, over quality of the product. Okay, so there's quality, which, is not an objective thing, guys. I'm sorry. Including TV, books, product, marketing, movies, etc. But this is where it gets cool. It's funny. I consider Arcane and The Boys as woke, and they are freaking amazing. So woke is not bad, not inherently bad.
Okay.
So therefore, using it as a criticism means nothing.
Yeah, it's just a thing. It's a thing now in movies, and some could be good, some could be bad. Hey, I'm cool with that. Are you cool with that, Dane?
Yeah, I'm good with it. Sure.
Yeah,
I mean, like with anything. Then what happens next is these people are also anti-woke, but then you see them disagreeing and quibbling about what that means. Combine that with the idea that, you know it when you see it, right? It's such a good defense that I made a video on it, and it still was a bad defense, and I picked it apart because it's a thought-terminating cliche. It's a really easy, lazy way to just say you don't like, You
don't like the message.
Which is just a rebranded woke, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's all that is a different. It's in you. Jesus Christ, dude, you're like 50. That's the thing. They all have their own specific little tweak on it.
Yeah.
MCU, the message.
Woke politics.
It's all the same shit.
Can we just admit this whole woke thing isn't working?
Woke thing?
I mean, it's been great in so many ways, but now it's like every movie and every TV show, it's like you can see through it now. Audiences want to be entertained. They don't want to be preached at. And if you're just doing shows and movies that have an agenda, it's like it's just going to keep failing.
Randy, what are you talking about?
Box office is down. People are tuning out. It's what killed the Marvel franchise. And just as a side note, I'm going to say it out loud, Avatar 2 sucked.
Kind of live a bit of a very walled off kind of existence when it comes to these type of things. But from what I've gathered from different pieces of media, YouTube responses, things like that.
So what he's gathered from YouTube,
how do I put this? Popular term for woke is raising perceived groups that are at a disadvantage to a higher level and promoting them more, i.e., blacks, Asians, the other races.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
blacks,
That is
Asians.
the way he's phrasing it. Yeah.
The gays, all that, and putting them on a plateau.
Plateau's clean, no dirt to be seen in the work. It was fun.
And making them the highlight of the conversation.
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
Hasta la vista.
Nuance and context. The lack of care for the craft of storytelling, and more care given to how diversity looks on a spreadsheet. Like, what? Do they really? It starts to become cartoonish, where it's like, do you really think they've just got a spreadsheet and checking literal boxes? Because that's one you see a lot, is they're checking boxes.
Yeah.
Woke is such a nebulous and ill-defined term. Well, okay. Well, we're on the same page there. That this is the best I can describe it. Oh, okay. And it's just like, I did a video on it. last year.
Previously on X-Men.
Woke is somewhat complicated. It's something you have to feel, in essence. Kind of like when a music group makes you feel something and then they sell out their music and you don't feel it anymore. You can't exactly explain why. Same thing that happens to a movie franchise, but the reason is its integrity. Passion, story writing has been sacrificed for identity politics. The people you criticize are basically just pointing that out. If you never felt something for the franchise, you might not be able to sense the wokeness. Woke is somewhat complicated. That doesn't tell us anything. That's just a more obfuscation. I don't know about you watching, but I'm not like one of those spiritual woo-woo people who just, operates my life based on like vague feelings of like, oh, this is just the moon's over Sagittarius or whatever. But that's what this sounds like to me. It sounds like someone who is living his life based off of entirely subjective feelings. And this goes back to what I was just saying about thought terminating cliches, in that you can apply your own subjective ideas and definitions to these terms.
A guy commented in a video I'd done asking, like, what does woke even mean? Can someone define it? And this guy, he's a YouTuber, eHacker, I think, commented and said it was just a paragraph of him basically saying, you can't define it. It's just feeling. It's just a thing you feel. You notice it when you see it.
Like pornography.
Yeah.
Guys, get it together over there, the right wing area. Like, this happened before.
Yeah. The example he used was it's like a band that you like.
Kind of like when a music group makes you feel something, and then they sell out their music and you don't feel it anymore. Notice how many times this guy has already used the word feel. I don't know about you, but I like to operate from, more tangible definitions of terms.
And you just know they've sold out. And it's like, well, that doesn't mean anything either. Like, selling out is not a term that you can define. That's like, I've seen all kinds of bands accused of selling out.
This doesn't tell you anything except that this guy, eHacker, has his very specific feelings for what woke means.
Give me some fucking criteria, something to base this on, and then we can actually have a conversation. But until then, you're just throwing out buzzwords. Anyway, so at least he admits it's nebulous and that he can't describe it. So that's good. It's a word that doesn't mean anything to me personally. But this above is what I've come to assume. Okay, actually, this fucking comment is brilliant because it says everything. It says that woke is a thought-terminating cliche that whoever that is hearing it is they're filling it with all of their own fucking subjective ideas of what they think it is. And yeah, there's probably a lot of overlap with what, that means to different people. But there's also not in some cases, because I've seen people say it about fucking climate change being mentioned in media or in film or whatever. Like, oh, they mentioned climate change as if it's a real thing. That's woke. I saw people talking about fucking COVID vaccines and shit as woke too. Like,
is the new moon? Is that a Roland Emmerich Moon movie? Is that woke? That's environment that counts. Moonfall.
I mean, that's
woke? Is that woke?
They called Mortal Kombat woke, right? Yeah.
Damn.
Here's the thing.
Daddy needs to get his rocks off.
He learned what he knows about wokeness from YouTube.
Kind of live a bit of a very walled off kind of existence when it comes to, blacks, Asians, the other races.
And I imagine that's where a lot of people did. But what's the problem with that? YouTube is not like, it's not a meritocracy. It's not like the best information is what gets seen the most. It's not the most popular information and content is always the most enlightened or informed content. Since 2015, YouTube's goals have purely been to help viewers find the kinds of content they want to watch to increase long-term satisfaction. Of course, we're all subject to this disclaimer. We all live in this world to some degree are watching obviously what we want to watch. That's obvious, but like when the stuff that you want to watch doesn't actually kind of evoke any real critical thought and it doesn't inform you very much, it just kind of repeats a message over and over again, the message, and it's just telling you this is woke, everything's woke is bad, look out for woke, wokey woke. Then you end up like fucking Jim the fucking Casual or his buddy who admitted on stream eventually that like he doesn't watch any of the movies that we're talking about. He just watches YouTubers say it. And Jim admitted it too. He got all his, and you end up so confident. Your fucking head is full of this bullshit that like you think it's fucking legit. And you challenge people to a debate and then you go on drunk and perform that way. It just, if you are committed to facts and understanding things on a critical level, people's shit falls apart.
Well, then we should define the term right now. That way there's no more confusion going on.
Absolutely, we should.
What does woke mean to you?
But you notice that moment when I said,
I don't think it means anything.
I don't believe woke means anything. What does it mean to you guys?
What does it mean to you guys?
Well.
And they're both like, it like broke their brains for a second. And it's because of this. They have for years now been consuming this shit uncritically, unquestioningly. And then they see other people say it. And these other people are, you know, and it feels good to be part of a community where you see other people saying the same thing you are. And they're liking yours and retweeting yours because you said it. And you never really challenge it. It becomes like, this is just a socially accepted thing. Ironically, this is the socially accepted thing on YouTube, especially to think that woke is some fucking, you know, imminent threat and it's affecting and poisoning everything, despite the fact that it's all very, very subjective and nobody can fucking really give a coherent definition that doesn't immediately contradict something else that they wouldn't call woke or didn't call woke. And here's the fucking thing.
It's clobbering time.
I just wish there would be a lot of ball-cuddling cowards out there who would just acknowledge what they are. They're just bigot assholes who just don't think that certain people have the right to be acknowledged that they exist. It's just that simple. When I see these fucking knuckle draggers, like, I don't care if we're talking about, ethnically diverse characters, sexual orientation characters. I don't care. When you see people, you know, just by the nature of them putting people in a movie, and then they go, "Why are they shoving that down my throat?" It's like, oh, so just call what it is. You just don't want to give the right and acknowledge that people have the right to exist. You just want to acknowledge that these people exist because you're a racist, bigot, you know, fucking loser asshole. Just admit it. I mean, just embrace it and own it.